All right, guys. Welcome back to Gridiron Talk. It's week 9 of college football, and I'm here with co-host Maddox. How are you doing today, Maddox?
Very, very good. Very excited for week 9 of this podcast. Crazy, you're almost in double digits,
It's crazy.
but very excited to get started.
Yeah. So let's jump right into it.
Yeah. What did you think of last week's games? I mean, there's a lot of very close games, controversial games. The
Controversial game.
Minnesota and Iowa, the fair catch.
Oh, yeah.
That was
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Was that a fair catch? Would you say that was a fair catch?
No.
I don't know.
I think
It's kind of like a duck wave,
the
X wave, little hand wave.
the kicking team clearly reacted like it wasn't a fair catch, and the returning team acted like it wasn't a fair catch.
So I feel bad for the refs.
Probably wasn't a fair catch. Yeah.
I mean,
You make the call. You make the call you think is right, and I think they messed up, but it happens. But still,
he's like kind of doing the fair catch signal, but he's like, wait,
yeah.
But Iowa is weird. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of great games last
Yeah.
week, and very excited for this week. So we got our slate ready. It's Oregon, Utah, our first game. College game day is going to be there. Going to be a great game. Oregon, number 8. Utah, number 13 seed. Utah has a great defense. 2-time reigning Pac-12 championship, but flying under the radar, definitely. And then got Oregon and Washington, USC, deservingly are put higher than Utah. I don't know if USC, you put them higher than Utah right now, but Oregon and Washington, in my opinion, right now are easily. They should be over Utah. But it's gonna be very, I think, surprisingly a blowout on some standards.
Yeah.
42-10, 32 points, whatever. I don't consider that a blowout. I mean, it's a good win, but
Yeah, it's a great win. That's 32 points. That's
okay. I mean,
5 scores, bro. That's 5
can happen
scores.
quickly.
Or actually, that's 4. Yeah, that's 5 scores. Or is it 4 if you get all the 2-point conversions?
Let's go 4.5.
4.5. Anyway, it's basically 5 scores, and that's a blowout. Yeah, I'm super excited for this. I think Oregon's gonna win. I definitely think they deserve to be above Utah. I think Oregon's still gonna manage to score because their offense is just so electric, even with Utah's crazy physical defense. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a low-scoring game at the beginning, or maybe we score a lot at the beginning and not as much as at the end when Utah wears them out. And then I just think Utah's not going to be able to score against their lack of a proficient offense without Cam Rising against Oregon's pretty stout defense.
Yeah.
I think there's going to be a bit of a struggle there for Utah in scoring, and that's why I think Oregon's going to win. And I'm going to say 35-10, Oregon wins, and that's 25 points, which I would also consider a blowout.
Oh my gosh. I'll go 42-10, not a blowout.
I want to hear from all of you guys.
What do you consider a blowout? How many points do you have to score for a blowout?
I feel like
32 points is just a really good win. 33 points.
is that a blowout?
Yeah,
What's the difference there, Maddox?
a point. A point can change everything.
Okay.
Whatever.
Okay.
Next
Whatever.
It's Colorado and 23 ranked Utah.
Utah. You mean UCLA?
UCLA. And I'm still riding high on the Colorado train. I mean, they had that embarrassing loss to Stanford. You score 29 points.
Yeah.
And you're just gritting on them. And then Stanford slowly comes back, and I don't understand. My brain hurts when
My brain hurts.
my brain hurts when I hear Colorado and Stanford, because you go from top of the mountain, Colorado. It's like the Polar Express, and then you hit the downhill, and then from Oregon, and then you hit the ice with Stanford, and you're spinning in circles. They're gonna regain traction, and they're gonna be on the track again. Just movie metaphors.
Movie metaphors. So I'm sorry. Out of that, you thought Colorado was gonna win?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I got that. And just make sure for the viewers. But yeah, I think Colorado's still a very talented squad. They still got a chance. But I think UCLA has been flying under the radar. I think this is going to be a better game than most people might suspect. But I'll take Colorado as well in this as they try and get back on that train like you were talking about, back on the Polar Express. It's close enough to Christmas. and they're definitely riding some dreams.
Yeah, the dreams of the Coloradoans.
But if you think about it, they already did better than they did last year.
So
It wasn't very hard to do better than last year.
But next game we got Duke and Louisville. Duke, like I said, not a football school. You don't think they're a football school. And Louisville,
They just have a football team
yes,
that's winning
yes,
a lot.
yes. Come on now, preach. But and then they got Louisville, who's a very underrated team right now. They've lost.
I would agree.
They beat Notre Dame,
Whoa.
and Duke lost to Notre Dame. So technically, they should be a
One of
lot
those
higher.
weird little Trinity things, I'm talking about.
So
Three people.
teams in Notre Dame or have like
ACC teams and Notre Dame. They're independent, but they're basically in the ACC like
It's like
other
it's like a weird relationship where you break up and you get together back again and you break back up. It's complicated.
Never, ever getting back together. Sorry. No, I mean, Notre Dame is an ACC school in every other sport
And then
except football. They're just independent.
They're like, we're gonna be that one guy.
They're the only independent team. They're just like the
They're like a-
most successful one.
Yeah, and I don't understand the deal with these fighting Irish. But what do you think about this game so far?
And I think I got Duke winning this.
Mm-hmm.
I think what we saw when Notre Dame played Louisville was a very tired Notre Dame coming off of playing Ohio State. Tough loss there. High energy game that they stuck out with at Duke. And I think Louisville's still a good team, but I think Duke is better. And this might be decently close, but I have Duke favored by about 7-10. I think they're going to win. I'll give them 24-17, especially now that Riley Leonard's back. Even with a bit lower mobility, I think he's still got that threat, especially this week. He should be even more healthy than he was last week, and just the threat that he is being back healthy is super great for Duke to have, and I definitely got Duke winning this one.
Yeah, I'm not going to pick the same as you. I think Duke is a better team, but I feel really good about this Louisville team. They're fast, electric. They don't make many mistakes. They beat a Notre Dame team who was, yes, tired, but they're still a really good team. With a tired, I would pick a tired Notre Dame team over a lower ranked, healthy team. But as you saw, that might not always work out. But Louisville is a very good team, very talented. I think they should be a lot higher. With this win against Duke, if they do, Duke may go out of the rankings.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, that
James Madison's undefeated, standing there at 25, which I like James Madison. I don't know why this is small school, but
well, they're not.
Louisville could move up to like 15. I don't have the rankings on me, but it'll be interesting to see this game, particularly about the ACC championship playoffs. I mean,
yeah, certainly some implications with this game for sure.
yeah, North Carolina losing.
Carolina.
Hello, foot. Emblem. I never understood that.
I went and toured that college and I got told about it, but I forgot.
Wow.
Yeah. I guess it wasn't that impactful.
There's not that.
Sorry to anybody who wants to go to UNC Chapel Hill or is like a diehard Tar Heel fan.
We're sorry.
Inform us because we don't know.
And I'm sorry if you're a Duke fan because I've been hating on you a lot lately. So, in the bottom of my heart, I'm sorry.
We actually like the ACC.
We're close.
It's like our favorite conference.
Yeah.
So we hate on it.
That way we roll. But now we got Bama and LSU. And I don't know. Interesting game. Bama, who I think is underrated. Jalen Milroy, very interesting career so far with his quarterback. I mean, Nick Saban benched him. I didn't understand that. I thought he was hurt. That's how confused I was.
Yeah.
And then it was just very confusing. And then last week they regained control. They're at 9 now. LSU, crazy season. Go from 5, lose to Florida State. Now they're at 15 after a big win last week.
Yeah.
Jump up the rankings. I don't think they should be 15th ranked, but whatever.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be a good old SEC dogfight. I think Alabama could win this. Low scoring, like a 24-17 type of game. Not a blowout, but
yeah. I think my hot take for today's episode.
You have a hot take?
I do have a hot take, and that's that the SEC is overrated this year. They're always a good conference. They're a good conference this year, but they're not as good of a conference this year as they have been the past couple of years. They still deserve to. A lot of their teams, 100%, Alabama, LSU, Georgia, still deserve to be ranked. But I think Georgia does not deserve the number 1 ranking.
Nope.
Alabama should not be ranked 9.
Nope.
LSU, I'm kind of fine with their 15. I'd probably slide them up a little closer to 20, though. But I think this one is actually a battle between two teams that are pretty close. What we've seen from Bama, in my opinion, is slow starts, and they're kind of managing to get the ball rolling in the end. Second half this last week, they came out and they looked amazing. They looked like a completely different team. No chance for the other team to come back. But if that's the Bama we could see, that's I think they're gonna win if they can bring that the whole game. But I think LSU definitely has a chance, and they got talent. They got some skill. I think this is going to be a close game, but I think they're not as good as they have been.
Yeah, definitely. It's much different. People are saying, is this the worst Bama team Nick Saban has coached? And I don't really follow Bama that much because I'm a Clemson fan, and Bama's like your number 1 enemy besides South Carolina. And so I would say this is definitely at the bottom just because how good Bama's been. But I don't follow that much. Next, my favorite section. Week 2 of the segment, Maddox's hot takes. So
a little like fire sound effect there, like an explosion or something.
So if you don't know what this is, because we're going crazy over it and you don't know, have a clue what's happening. So I have probably not true takes and that are absolutely crazy, and we're going to talk about them, and we just add a lot of emotion to them. So heads up.
They're definitely not true.
Except for this one. Archie Manning is his show. Finally, Quinn Ewers is hurt, and now Archie Manning finally gets his start with Texas, and there's going to be I don't think he would start when Quinn Ewers comes back, just how good Quinn Ewers was. But Archie Manning, the chosen one for the new college football, it's going to be very interesting to see his career play out if he transfers maybe to like a Bama. Maybe. I don't think he would transfer to Georgia.
Yeah.
Clemson. No, we don't. We're fine. Cade's good.
We're fine.
Not right now, but give us time. But how do you think Archie Manning is going to play out through this voice crack? Play out through this game today?
Well, I think over this voice crack, he's going to take a quick drive down to the. I think we'll see some talent for sure. But also, it's really his first chance to show up in college football. I'm sure there's going to be some nerves. I think he'll perform well. I think he'll do well. He has a good Texas offense, a good line to keep him protected, give him time to get to his receivers. Good coaching. So, I think there's going to be an opportunity for him to perform well, definitely. And I'm excited to see what he does for sure. I think like the rest of us football fans, we're just kind of watching on, hoping it goes well and continues the legacy. But also, there's all that pressure on him that, even if he has the talent or maybe he doesn't have the talent, he's just expected to do certain things. And I think we can't expect too much greatness, but we can certainly appreciate it if that makes sense.
Yeah. Next is Georgia is finally, it's not ranked number 1. Michigan is one. If you're not aware, Michigan sign stealing very crazy, but they're still number one.
Very creative. No,
Like Belichick, deflated football days, going back
Deflate gate.
back in his back pocket, pulling out the sign stealing. But Georgia finally is not ranked
It's
number
not
one.
baseball.
I mean,
Sorry.
we're confusing sports. We gotta stay on topic.
There's signs in football. I'm just saying. Signs stealing.
Like signs, emoji signs. But Georgia finally is not ranked number one. I'm so glad. But they only went down number two. They're playing Florida this week. Very big game.
Is your hot take that they're going to lose?
I like every game we previewed of them. I have chosen them to lose, and they've won.
So you're going to choose them to win and hope they lose?
I'm going to choose them to win. Hope they lose. Yeah,
I bet they tie.
but they're playing Florida. Very interesting game. Brock Bowers is out into probably the SEC championship that day, and two if he comes back in, and B if they even make
That's
it there.
definitely a tough loss for
Yeah,
Georgia.
like their best player.
I think they can still continue to perform, but I think that's just going to continue to highlight that they're not the Georgia they have been.
Yeah, I mean, he's like their number one target easily. He's a wide receiver titan. He's gonna be a top 5 pick in the draft, sadly. But I don't like Rob Bowers if you can't tell. But Georgia is a very talented team. Carson Beck is a very talented quarterback. They have a very talented O-line, D-line, linebackers, cornerback, safeties. I don't think this is their year. I don't think they could make it to the playoffs. I think definitely. But you look
They'll
at
make it, but I think
look at 5, 6, 7, and 8, even 9. Bama even has a shot if they win in the SEC championship game. You got Oregon and Washington.
well, I think whoever wins the SEC championship game is going to the board is going to try and shove them into the
Classic
playoffs.
I remember watching it so many times and getting so mad because who was it? Bama, the Clemson Kelly Bryant year, and then they go on to win, and they scooch them in after the win against Auburn, and they're ranked for it, and somehow they win the championship. Just this, I mean, come on now. No, not everybody likes the SEC. Next, a one-loss Oregon can still make it to the college football playoff easily.
Easily. I think
hear me out.
I think their road to the playoff is winning out,
Including the
and
Pac-12
then-
championship.
and then including the Pac-12 championship against Washington. I think then you got to give them a shot. Does definitely depend on how other teams' seasons play out, but I do think there's still a shot for them for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, you look at Florida State at 4. I personally,
I think Florida State deserves to be in there.
yeah,
But I mean, there's a lot of season left. I think the ACC is good this year for sure. I'm kind of waiting to see if we end up with a lot of 1 and 2 loss teams in the ACC before we get to the ACC championship, and if that's the case, then putting Florida in, it's going to be tough. If they with one loss, it might be tough to get them in. But I don't see a problem with Florida State being in. I do think they're overrated.
yeah.
But you can't necessarily not put in such a hyped up 1-loss team or undefeated team, especially if they're undefeated by the end of the season. For sure, they'll be in that.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of have a feeling that Florida State may lose in the ACC championship.
I mean, they should have lost to Clemson, but Clemson just doesn't have a kicker. No,
My gosh.
Over the weekend, Monday. We didn't have school Monday. On Monday, I went out to Kiwanis, and I kicked 40 yards. No warm-up. I just went out there. I kicked 40 yards. It was with the wind, though. It was with the wind. But I was just sitting around and on the field while my brothers were kicking. Then I walked out. I was like, all right, I'm taking this one. And 40 yards right down the pipe. It had probably been pretty close to the whatever the bottom thing of the field goal thingy is called.
The post.
The crossbar.
Yeah.
The crossbar.
The bottom.
Is it still called a crossbar in football?
I'm not Googling it to show what happened.
Yeah. Anyway, 40 yards Clemson. I kicked it 40 yards.
Sign him. If you sign him.
Through the middle.
Because we're a package.
Yeah, so if you need a kicker, I'll walk on.
Sign. I'll sign too. Because I can be a good water boy. I promise you that.
He's barely... Yeah.
Oh,
He's still got school to do.
I'm homeschooled, so I can
Yeah.
probably skip.
You gonna move to? You gonna move down there?
Been there plenty of times. I know the place. Anyway, last hot take is Oklahoma really this good? They're ranked 6. They beat the 3-team Texas. I really like Oklahoma because of Brent Venables, Clemson's longtime D-line coordinator. But was that win a one-time lucky win with Dylan Gabriel just showing out? Is this like the future of Oklahoma? Or are we going to see a Oklahoma with Oregon on the rise, Bama possibly on the rise, getting overpassed by teams who will have much tougher schedules down the line, and Oklahoma just has to beat Texas again. So
I think Oklahoma is good. Probably top 10 good for sure. I think that's safe to say. 6 might be a little high.
Yeah.
I don't have any problems with it right now. I'm happy, satisfied with the top 10 rankings right now. I think they're relatively appropriate. And as the season continues, we'll see. And we'll see if Oklahoma, continues to prove that they are talented, because they have had that quality win against Texas for sure. But they also don't have the toughest schedule.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I think they're a solid team. Maybe a little overrated, maybe a little under the radar. I mean, I think they're just a good all around team. But I don't think if they made it into the playoffs that they would win.
Yeah.
And I don't know that they would make it to the championships. I think they'd lose to whoever they played in the semis. Because I think they're still a talented squad this year for sure.
Yeah, it would be tough to even get into the playoffs.
Yeah. With
Michigan 1, Georgia 2, Ohio State 3, who I really like Ohio State right now.
Did you watch that Ohio State-Penn State game?
They stay at 3? Are you serious right now?
That was like one of the most boring games of college football I've seen in a while.
And I still chose to watch the entire game.
There were other games on, you know that, right?
Yeah, but they're all boring. So I just chose to watch that only because of Marvin Harrison. The Maserati. I mainly watched the game for the announcers. I love those announcers.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it's tough for Oklahoma to get him. Because I right now put Ohio State at 1 with their dominant win over Penn State. Michigan 2. And then Ohio State, Michigan will be a very good game this year. That's what we say every year, but
it's good almost every year.
Sadly, usually don't get the best games.
I think you might be a little surprised when Michigan Ohio State happens. Ohio State's not winning that.
I think they are. See, this is the biggest J.J. McCarthy fan you will ever find.
No, I'm not a J.J. McCarthy fan, but I guess yeah, sure, whatever. Yeah, he's cool. I like him.
Science dealer.
But he's not the one making the plays.
How do you know?
It's the defensive calls that were getting investigated. Huh. They're one of their defensive guys.
Never mind.
Which is why their defense has been so good, supposedly.
Awesome.
No, but I think Ohio State's kind of like middling, and Penn State was good, but not crazy good. But Michigan is very good this year. Good enough to be ranked number 1. And I think Ohio State is decent, but they're not that good. Michigan is going to roll them over again like last year. What was last year? 44-16?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we'll see at least that much this year again. And hey, you know what I call that?
44-16.
A blowout.
Oh my God. I'm going to call
the reason we talked about a blowout a couple times is because this is not our first take of this episode, because we're having a lot of technical issues today.
And then
but in the first time, what we thought was a real take.
We spent like 20 minutes talking about a blowout
and trying arguing about it, but I was right, and yeah.
No, Ohio State. I'm gonna come in. I may start a fight if you start talking about Michigan's.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
But it's been second take gone well, but it's been a very good episode this
for sure,
and we will see you next week.